This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
Across the country, United Health Group is working with local partners to build healthier communities every day. That includes helping partners like the Good Acre provide 45,000 meals and lower A1C in the Twin Cities, and helping Hello Family doulas deliver 44% fewer underweight births in Spartanburg. Because building healthier communities starts by giving people access to the care and services they need to live healthier lives. Learn more at unitedhealthgroup.com/commitment.
Welcome to a new era of baseball's great spectacle, the T-Mobile Home Run Derby, live on Netflix. The biggest sluggers in baseball put their talents to the test on All-Star Weekend. Raw power meets star power. Big swagger meets bigger slams. And you don't swing to make contact. You swing to make history. Watch the T-Mobile Home Run Derby live on Netflix this Monday, July 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, Matt.
So the summer of ska continues for the month of July. I'm excited. We've had some return guests, but now we have a first timer. I am a huge fan of this guest's podcast. I've been on this guest's podcast. I have, in fact, poached one of the people I was on a podcast with as a guest before this person.
That sounds like
really
you, Matt.
Rude. Very rude.
Yeah, it is.
This is Caleb Caleb the Spy, as he's known on the internet, of the Anniversary Album podcast. Caleb, welcome to Christian Cringe.
Thank you so much for having me. I am really, really excited. I'm not going to lie. Not for the music we've chosen as much, but to hang out with you guys.
So,
sick.
So, Katie, a peek behind the curtain, and I'm not sure if you've picked up on this already. Caleb is a much better human than us. He's just a kind soul. And when I texted him about doing this podcast, he said, listen, it's in my nature to not trash on things. I never know who's listening. I don't want to burn any types of bridges. That being said, the only album I've ever really, truly felt like anger towards was the Bunch of Believers album.
Easily. And I mean,
so we're getting mean guy Caleb the Spy, possibly for the first time ever in recorded podcast history.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm like a Christian ska apologist. Like I will fight for it, that it's valid. It was a unique time. It was a really cool moment. This I will not defend. There's no defense here.
I can't remember if you listened to our Adventures of the OC Supertones episode, but I talked about this a little bit in there. And I mean, that album is heads and shoulders better than this album, but that album has a pretty good amount of like aged poorly cheese in its production and stuff.
Right.
And I remember saying about specifically the song I Love God, like every time I said I listened to Christian ska, that is 100% what people thought the music I was talking about was. And bands like maybe Five Iron Frenzy or the Dingies were like the furthest thing from people's minds of like what Christian ska is supposed to sound like. Bunch of Believers is what people assume Christian ska music sounds like.
It's exhausting. It's
only 10 tracks.
Is a great word.
But it is 10 tracks, runs I think a tight 33 minutes and still feels like an eternity on some of these songs.
Legitimately, it's an eternity on this freaking album.
So Katie, I want to
hear. Well, go ahead.
We've already done their Christmas album. Do you think this is worse than the Christmas album that we did?
Dude, that was the thing that I couldn't remember and I didn't want to go back and look up, but I was like, how many songs were on the Christmas album in comparison? Because
it was only 2 more.
Which is insane because this one felt a million times longer.
Yes.
It's because at least the Christmas one, there were songs you were familiar with lyrically to sing along with.
Sure.
It's like, all right, this is a lame version of Jingle Bells, but at least it's Jingle Bells and I can sing along with it.
Okay. Do we all know anybody in Bunch of Believers? Can we just establish
Caleb,
this
you can
quick?
confirm this, but if you remember our episode, I think we cracked the code that Bunch of Believers is just one person from a band called One Bad Pig, and maybe his female friend that he calls up to sing on it. But I'm pretty sure this is mostly a keyboard playing all of the instruments and him doing all the male vocals, and then bringing in a ringer for the female vocalist.
A ringer?
Yeah,
you say.
All right.
I looked her up. It's the only thing she's ever been on is this album. Like if you look on Discogs, there's no other credits, so it's just this, and it's it feels like a friend of his, maybe a significant other. I have no idea, but this is the only thing she's on.
Also, I wish because I have the physical CD, I wish I had grabbed it so I could show Katie. I think we talked about this a little bit in our Christmas episode. It is very South Park coded in their presentation because they made up a whole fake band. And the joke of this fake band, which I actually think is a pretty funny joke, everybody's name is a variation of Bob. So the lead singer is Robert. The girl is Roberta. There's a Roberto. There's a Bobby. There's like all the band members are Bob. Just words that can be given the nickname of Bob too. So that's about. Listen, my compliments. I'll have my compliments. How do I say this?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and give your laurels to this.
The laurels that I'm going to give is at its worst, which it is still at its worst. I think it's bookended by the two best songs, and then there's just straight trash in the 8 tracks in between the opener and the closer.
So you're saying that Mission to Mexico is a banger for you?
Certified.
Let's start there. I'm saying that when I saw the music video and heard the song Mission Trip to Mexico, I ran out and bought the album, so it must have done something right.
Well, they definitely hit your demographic there, Matty boy.
Yeah. Which was a middle schooler willing to listen to anything that was ska and Christian at the same time.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this in the Christian bookstore and just being like, even like I was not opposed to South Park by any means, but I was like, no. And then I remember hearing this and just being like, no, I refuse. So like I've never owned this, which again, a guy who is pretty obsessed with Christian ska, I was so turned off by this from the get-go.
Okay, but wait, when you saw this in the Christian bookstore, how old were you?
I'm older. I will admit I was in probably, I don't know the release date on this because it's not on my calendar that I keep.
It's 97.
It's 97. Okay, I graduated in 97 from high school, so I was heading into college.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
See, I was 12. This is perfect music for a 12-year-old.
That makes a lot more sense because, we talk about like how old the bands are, how old we were when we first discovered them. I will say that I remember the South Park album cover, and like that was like a big no-go in our family. So like I'm sure that was like a turn the other cheek or turn the other way. It was like, no, that's the devil's comedy. Absolutely not. Yeah, it does. I was like, okay, so you did acquire some taste before you saw this and heard this.
Listen, I'm
go ahead, Matt.
All I'm saying is, and it might be like by comparison, I just feel like this song is catchy enough compared to some of the garbage that comes after this. I feel like this is the perfect opening track where you're like, oh, maybe this won't be that bad. And then immediately by like track 2, you're like, oh, yeah, I've made some mistakes.
It's all bad. It's all bad. Do you want to know the one note that I wrote for this song, Mission Trip to Mexico?
Was it the extremely racist way that he says Jesus saved the earth from sin?
That is something that caused this emotion that I wrote down, and I just said, this song is making my skin crawl.
Yeah.
That's all I wrote about this song. I was like, ooh, like I remember being like so stoked to go to Mexico and bringing my English to Spanish dictionary. Come on, man. Oh, the appropriation is strong in this one.
Yeah, but you know what? If you were going on that mission trip in the year 2000, there's a chance they would have played this song.
1,000% they did. 1,000%.
I was like halfway through and I hadn't noticed all the like Spanish and Mexican references. And then it hit me and I was like, oh, this is so much worse. Like, it's not a good song, but this makes it so much worse. It was like this wave of
disappointment,
frustration, and guilt for even streaming it. I mean,
would you perhaps describe it as cringe?
I would. I went on a lot of mission trips to Mexico. I mean, that was a spot for us.
Always stayed within the United States. We would go to like Memphis or Nashville or Georgia. Like, we would do like where you're in a van and you drove for like 2 days to go, stuff like that. But
I was in Arizona, so like it was not that far of a drive.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big factor. I also think that at that time, probably even just trying to get a bunch of middle schoolers and high schoolers with passports to go to and from Mexico was probably more of a headache than anybody wanted to deal with. And we're just like, Tennessee's close enough.
And it doesn't require a passport yet.
Yeah, who knows? Ooh, let's not predict terrible future. Let's just talk about terrible songs like track 2, Homeschool Girl.
These vocals are awful as well. Like, and I'm not, I don't come down hard on my show. Like, I try not to, but the vocals are really, really bad on this. And this one hurts me because I have 4 children and we homeschool 3 of them still. And actually, well, the 4th one's coming back because he's been in public school this year. So like I feel even more offended because we've enjoyed homeschooling our children and we've tried to, we made some choices early on where maybe we shouldn't have. I don't know. There's a whole dynamic there, but like this one's even worse because of that, because it just makes me feel even worse about like homeschooling my children, even though I don't feel bad about homeschooling my children. But this one brought up all sorts of weird emotions.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is it because you taught your kids that you came from monkeys?
Yes, we've been, well, oh man. That was a moment because there's no way to homeschool especially in Minnesota. I live in Minnesota without kind of being super connected to just uber conservative. Like it is. A pastor once called us the weirdest homeschool family they've ever met because yes, we are a lot more liberal in our thinking, especially me, and a lot more progressive in our thinking. And so like I had a moment with my oldest where she was like, you don't believe the earth is 6,000 years old? And I was like, no, absolutely not. And it was like mind blowing to her, that she was just like, because I think all the people she was interacting with were, that was very much being enforced. And I was like, no. And we've looked, I'm not going to fight my kids on it, but it's like, no, here's the reasons Dad's okay with it. And it just doesn't worry me that the earth might be a little older than 6,000 years old. I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
I love this, Caleb. Preach. Yeah. So, go ahead.
I want to mention that Caleb did call out the vocals here. And the best I can say is I'll take the guy vocals over the girl vocals all day, every day on this album.
Any day. Any day. And I agree. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Homeschool Girl isn't sung by the girl. What are we?
It's because it's the love song to the homeschool girl. You got it.
Right. It's creepy. It's so creepy. I wrote down, they teach me that we come from monkeys. What the fuck? This is verging on creepy as hell. Quote, teaching her the basics of life in a good way. What does that mean?
I have no idea. Just it's cultish scariness is what it is.
But that was like he's describing her, the homeschool girl, and like how weird she is, but how cool she is for being that weird because she's educated, away from the masses and like doesn't get bothered by the junkies, I guess, in the high school. And then he says teaching her the parents are teaching her the basics of life, and then there's a audible pause, in a good way. And I'm like, what is this qualifier? I don't understand.
I mean, I think the problem that we're going to have on this is that we're trying to find any answers in what feels like an album that was written, recorded, and shot out over a weekend.
Right.
With so
I'm
little
just saying,
thought.
in a good way is never the qualifier you want.
There are so few times where I would describe something as like a poser jumping on the bandwagon. This is the most like, hey, my band One Bad Pig isn't relevant anymore. All these ska bands are doing their Ska Mania tour and everyone in Christian music's into ska. I don't know 7 friends to form my own ska band, but I got this Casio keyboard that can play every instrument I need it to. And I'm just going to like take a week and knock out this album and get it out as quickly as possible to be on top of it. And we'll get there at I mean, literally ending the album, shouting out the 3 biggest bands in Christian ska, insulting. It's an insulting move.
And that is my issue with Paul Kupek. I'll call him up by name. Is that I found like an old interview about him talking about One Bad Pig, and he was like, they were trying to do ministry around the punk club, and he was like, what if we were a punk band? Then we could do ministry in the club. And I was like, can you think of the most anti-punk thing in the world? And like, I want music to be like artistic expression. Like, I think I still think it can have faith and artistic expression together. And like, that is just that is what turns me off to this even more, is knowing that in the 80s, early 90s, he made that decision. He didn't like punk rock, but then it sold well. So he totally dove into it and like went deep onto it. Like, he did it as a goof and as like hey, I'm going to use this. And then it succeeded. And all of a sudden he was like, yeah, I'm a punk rocker. It's gross to me. Super gross.
Well, you know what's real punk is doing a ska version of one of the most mediocre Newsboys hits. I'm not ashamed.
We're going hard on this one in the very beginning. Like, okay, this is, and then I put next to I'm not ashamed. Maybe you should be. And I was like, oh, the girl's singing again. Dang it. Oh, I hate this so much. Matt. No. Oh, it makes me so sad. This feels like the music that school shooters grew up on.
You're not wrong on any of those accounts, but yeah, this is just, it's so funny because I think at a certain point, again, like I said, I discovered this when I was 12. I think I really truly thought this was a band that was just trying to be anonymous behind the like South Park characters. And now I'm listening to the tracks and I'm like, this is the fakest sounding drums that have ever been recorded in human history. Like it is. And God, what, like, did we need a ska version of the Newsboys Not Ashamed? And Caleb, I would argue you're probably the biggest of the 3 of us. You're probably the closest to a Newsboys fan. I'm maybe 4 songs by them ever, but
they hold a special place for me because they're my introduction to like not Petra. Yes. And like there's alternative, and they're my introduction to Steve Taylor, who you guys recently covered.
Yeah.
And like, these are Steve Taylor's lyrics. Are they his best lyrics? They are not. He has done so much better. But like, I think kind of why the Christmas album was more palatable. This is the most palatable song for me because I knew it. Like I think that is what did it. And like, I want my ska to have organ. Like, that's a staple of, I think, really, it's the only thing Five Iron lacks, in my opinion, is they don't have enough organ. Like the Catbite is a current ska band that uses a ton of organ, and they're fantastic. This has this organ solo. They get into it, and I'm just like, what? Oh, this should be awesome. I should love it, and it's so horrible.
Well,
it's so horrible.
What do you think that is, though? Is it because it feels soulless in that it's like not an actual instrument?
Well,
it sounds like the drums. Yeah.
I think it's that. And I also think I agree with you. I love a good organ in a ska song, but I think that it's better used in like either two-tone ska, reggae, or like more like a ska punk thing like the Suicide Machines, just straight up third wave ska, the organ feels super out of place. So it almost feels like, again, someone who knows nothing about ska structure, and it's like, it's almost like he's trying to prove how easy ska is to make, but he's doing it all wrong and like actually disproving his thesis with every single track. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Because like, think about even the Supertone songs that use organ, they're never, it's not in like, you know, Unite or Little Man. It's in like they're slightly more like slowed down reggae two-tone songs is where they bust out the organ in the background. Like he's just like, yeah, we can do the rockin' song and throw an organ in there because that's what ska music is. Because I've listened to one song by a band before and I know what the whole genre is.
Well, that's what it's the assumption of the music that like makes it feel most egregious, is that it's like, no, I have a handle on this and we can do it all.
You know, I think that time and time again, specifically Five Iron Frenzy has proven their genuine love of the history and the art form that is ska music. And I think that, you know, Insiders and Supertones, it's always been like up in the air, debatable. Like, do they have that much of a love of the first wave and second wave, or are they firmly in the third wave? This is no wave. This is the most obvious, could not care about any aspect of the history of this genre of music that's been around for 50 plus years. Like, it's so insulting. And then you got to drag in Goodwill.
I love Goodwill. I know, they're just dragging it down.
My favorite is that I wrote, is this going to be worse or better than Macklemore's Poppin' Tags?
Listen, it's hard to be better than the perfect song.
I agree.
Listen, okay, because when else am I going to get to share this? Unashamedly love Macklemore and the song Thrift Shop. But for those of you who don't know, the opening line to that song is walked into the club like, what up? I've got a big cock. And this is a song that's been covered by Kids Bop. And they changed it to walked in the club like, what up? I've got some new socks. I was like, dear
hopefully not
God.
From Goodwill.
Yeah, Katie, there's a lot of career paths you and I have discussed being perfect ones for us. I would love to be hired as the person to take filthy songs and make them Kids Bop appropriate.
Kids Bop,
that's a good gig.
It sounds like the greatest gig in the world.
I foresee the best Christmas special with Christian cringe.
Are we going to save that for our December live stream?
Yeah, I think that's
the filthiest songs of the year and Kids Bop them in real time.
Yeah, Christian Kids Bop them in real time.
Yeah. Oh man, bring in like Robert Bacon, and then
yes,
that's a Bacon and Nate idea if I've ever heard one. You'll notice we're not really talking about this song because it fucking sucks. Like,
it sucks. It's wolf. It is not better than thrift shop.
But I will say thematically, it's so inoffensive that I really barely have anything to say. It's just like, all right, yeah, you're going to Goodwill, great, whatever.
It feels
in
like
the grand
weird,
scheme of everything else we've heard, this is the least offensive topic that they've tackled so far.
Fair. That is fair. Caleb, what were you gonna say?
It feels like a praise song ripoff. Like, and I can't think of the song. Like, he came from heaven to earth. I think it's
a little bit that.
I left your name on
feels
high.
like that. Yeah. And I think it's supposed to be funny, but it just is boring. Like, it's not funny enough to be funny.
Could be the actual title of this album.
Yeah. That's a great tagline for this album.
I just can't believe this was made by a professional musician. That was what I kept on thinking. And this song, it really started to come out to me. Like, this is a man who supported himself making music. How did this happen?
And how many bands do we know and love who still have to be like Lyft drivers in their day-to-day life to justify tour?
And now I'm just depressed.
Yeah, this guy got to have like 20 years just making music.
Listen. This is the difference between struggling for art and just making it up for money and corporate art.
like, all right, I'm not throwing him under the bus, and I'm certainly not going to name names here. But
here we go.
One Hit Thunder co-host Chris Fafalios, as everybody knows, was in the band Punchline. Band was signed to Fueled by Ramen at this massive time at Fueled by Ramen, and he kind of spent a large chunk of his music career watching literally all of the bands around him become the biggest bands in the world while he just kind of felt left behind. And he's made a comment before to me where he said, like, you know what, though? I think that as much as it sucks that we were left behind, it kept our band thirsty enough to keep pushing ourselves creatively. And he goes, and I feel like I go back to so many of those bands that were blowing up around us, and it feels like their new music just got lazy because they don't have to write a song that's going to put them on the radio. They're just going to get pushed straight to the radio no matter what they crap out. And like, they're not like, he's like, I just feel like maybe the creativity starts to go away when you're not making your livelihood on like, I need this album to be a success so that I can justify like not working a 9 to 5, and I can justify this, that, and the other thing. Like, there is something to be said there. Yeah. Like, if you got no worries and no troubles, you can just shit out an album like this in a week and be like, man, what a prolific artist I am.
Right.
All right, let's go to the one that Katie had to send me her notes on because she was just so annoyed. I'm gonna wait. There's more of that organ that Caleb loves so much.
The bass doesn't sound horrible. There you go. That's the one nice thing I'll say on the album. The bass sounded okay.
Bass doesn't sound horrible.
Yeah.
So this is and listen, these songs have made me uncomfortable even when I was a Christian. Any of the like Saving Myself Till Marriage songs. Right. Phil Moore, one of my favorite bands, still has a song called Worth the Wait that is always the moment when their album gets mildly uncomfortable for me for a few minutes. But this is the worst abstinence song that I think has ever been written.
And performed.
Yep. Katie, let's go to your notes and we'll start off those because I was giggling to myself this morning when I woke up to them.
I just want to put this out there because I have said things on this podcast, and then Matt has brought on band members of these places. If you are the female from Bunch of Believers, like,
there's truly, no world she's listening to this.
I understand. I just want to say I understand coming from that culture, and also really hoping that I had a good singing voice and just not having one. I feel you, girlfriend. I just want to put that out there before I get into my notes. So my notes. I feel really bad for this girl, and I hope she remains anonymous because Jesus Christ, this song sucks. Guys, stop waiting. Sex is great. This is coming from someone who was scared away from sex for too long thanks to purity culture. Bullshit. Sex rules. Just be healthy.
Yeah, be safe and healthy. Don't be a whore.
Be safe and healthy. As a teen, had I been exposed to this song, I would have loved this song. And I would have been like probably singing this at the top of my lungs type of thing. But this song is this is definitely of the entirety of what we have covered so far. Up until the month of, I guess we're past June now. This is definitely one of my top cringe songs for the year.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
It's not.
It's man.
It's hard to even laugh about because of like how destructive purity culture got. Like, when we had the podcast we did for a while, me and my friend, like, we were like, should we talk about purity culture? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to have it as a topic, it should be some people who survived it, and they should probably be female because I think the destruction that it had, I think that's the hard thing is like, I kind of want to try and laugh, and I kind of just want to like this crosses that line to cringe of like, I'm like, oh, this is so, like, this is what I come to my songs for is guilt. That's what I want.
It's icky. It's uncomfortable. It also sucks to think about it through this lens too. this anonymous woman, she didn't write this song. A man wrote this song for her to sing on his shitty album. And you know, I've talked about this before on the show, but the church that I work for and that I was for a while a youth leader for until last year, like we've had to deal with purity, like some form of purity culture, even like going on missions trips where it's like, oh, there's a pool here and guys can absolutely just be in their swim trunks and nothing else. And that's totally fine. But girls need to have a full one-piece bathing suit or swim with a t-shirt over them because God forbid if their belly button is exposed, the boys will feel a certain way. And like, we've pushed against that and they've yelled at us and we've been like, teach your boys how to handle being around a woman. Like, I don't know what you want from us. It's 2026 and these are teenage girls and we're not going to make them go buy a new bathing suit for the 2 times that they're going to swim on this missions trip. That's psychotic. Like, that is absolutely insane. You know what? I'm just so annoyed and frustrated. Let's go to a commercial break and then we'll come back.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the match day spread. He's reaching for the buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too! Incredible! What a finish! Sensational combination! Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
If data management is slowing down your business, you need the Intuit ERP. If one entity is here, and one here, and one here, and one here, you need the Intuit ERP. If scaling your business feels like starting over, you need the Intuit ERP. Intuit Enterprise Suite is the AI-native ERP solution that consolidates, migrates, and automates, all in one place. Learn more at intuit.com/ERP.
Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
Adobe Firefly is the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video editing for today's creative process. Built for creators of every kind, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, the budgets aren't getting bigger, and the timelines, oh yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Unlock a better way to make with Adobe Firefly.
Reese Witherspoon here, checking into my favorite hotel in Paris. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
I'm traveling with my Wells Fargo Autograph Journey card, so I earn rewards wherever I book travel. 5 times points with hotels, 4 times with airlines, 3 times on restaurants and other travel, and 1 point on other purchases. Phew, that was a lot. I need to lie down. Is the room ready?
Visit wellsfargo.com/autograph journey. Terms apply.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Guys, this album's making me so sick. I need a doctor.
Oh, Matthew.
All right, doctor in the house. How are we feeling about this one, baby?
Of the original songs, I may hate this the least because it's just Bible stories. Like it's not like, I feel like it's not him trying to make a social, like having social commentary And that's what I want from him. Is I don't want his social commentary. Just maybe do some Sunday school Bible stories, and that's fine.
That's, I think, as fair as we can get on this one. How about you, Katie? You always have some fire notes. What were your thoughts on this one?
I wrote, sigh. Matt, this album is taking too long for 10 songs. Trying to be surfwave pop, and it's just, ugh. I would have loved this back in the day, though. I am not ashamed to admit it. That's real. I hate it now, but I acknowledge my tastes have changed and that I grew some.
I will say on the positive side, I do think the B-side songs are much shorter than the front half until you get to the final track. Because Doctor in the House, I think, is like a tight 3 minutes. I think the last two, like tracks 8 and 9, I think are barely even 3 minutes. They're like 2 minutes and some change. So we're at least speeding through the back half of this garbage. And you know what? It's ska music, and sometimes that makes even the most unsuspecting people dance. Here's Pastor Dancing from a bunch of believers.
These transitions, man, you're on fire.
I'm just, as we're talking, I'm staring at the next track name, being like, how do I segue into this?
Yep. Caleb, what'd you think about Pastor Dancing?
Yeah.
I just, this was the moment, I went through some emotions as we went through this album.
Yeah.
And this was the moment that I thought, this was semi-popular. And how? This is just like, it's 3 minutes. I want it to be over right away. But like, again, it's not clever. It's not creative or fun. Like it that's what it's going for. I think it's trying to be clever and creative and fun, and it's none of those things.
Well,
when you can see the intention of that, like you can see the outline of like, I want this to be clever, I want this to be creative, I want this to be fun, and it's like you showed your work too much, and not made art. You've just made work.
So this, of all the tracks, hits the most of Caleb's I think this is supposed to be funny comment, because it's like I can just see him pitching this to his friend. He's like, could you imagine your pastor, get this, he's dancing. Come on now. I'm laughing already, buddy. I can't even imagine what this is going to sound like. It's the most absurd concept I can come up with today, is a pastor dancing. Could you imagine?
Matt, is this Christian Cringe podcast? Is this like just Dante's Inferno, and that we're just circling?
Katie, if it was, we would have finished all the circles by the time we got through a bunch of believers. It's
I don't know, man. It's a journey.
Yeah, listen, there's a reason why I'm rewarding you with a 5 Heart Frenzy live album next week.
I appreciate you.
It also is like clearly trying to latch on to like the youth group culture of the 90s.
Oh,
like,
that's
100%.
Look how
100%.
cool we are compared to the head pastor, and I don't know.
But as we've already discussed, he ain't going for the high schoolers. This is for the Sunday school, elementary school kids, and the middle schoolers. Like he already knows that the high schoolers he's lost to 5 Iron Frenzy and the Supertones. He's got to get them young so that they're. I don't think
you can grow up with them.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single person who was a teenager in the late 90s that like this was their number one ska album that they told everybody about. Like, only the most sheltered of children were like, this is 5 Iron Frenzy challenges me too much, but Bunch of Believers keeps me on the straight and narrow that I like to be on.
Is it just me, or does Bunch of Believers kind of feel like what is it, Matthew McConaughey in American
Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah, I keep getting older and they just stay the same age. Like that's what Bunch of Believers feel like as a musician.
You know, Caleb, I feel like you're pretty good on this information. I'm just making an assumption here. Bunch of Believers has like never played a show live ever in the history of them being a band, as far as we know, right? There was never like a music festival that they played at or anything.
Not that I'm aware of, partially because I think it was so brief, right? It was it was the Christmas album. I think they were released within a year of each other.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I mean, the reality is I know ska hung on in the Christian space a lot longer.
but on the mainstream, it was already gone.
It was
already
gone
by this came out.
Yeah, it's starting to die by 97, 98. And
sure.
So I just think I don't know. And yes, I have no.
We would have heard about it by now.
Yeah.
If we knew someone who saw a bunch of Believers live, we would have heard that.
Someone would have
said
something.
Somebody by now,
right? Somebody would have.
So this was purely just from album sales. Everybody knowing this.
Yeah, but I also don't think I mean, Caleb, you're usually better at this information than me, but I can't even imagine this sold that well. Like, I'm sure it sold better than anyone expected it to, but I'm sure it undersold almost all of the actual Christian bands that were on the road selling albums and like building legitimate fan bases.
I'm sure it did, but I'm sure the cost was so minimal, right? It's one dude and they put it out quick. I mean, even it's cheap looking, you know, and this is, I mean, if this is 97, you're talking.
I think it's actually 98. I think
98.
I think it's 98. So he's already lost the wave is like dying at this point.
Right. Yeah. But it's coming off of our newest album ever. It's coming off of Supertone Strike Back and Scalleluia, like are right in that area. I mean, those are the three big ones. If you're gonna plant your flag on like what are the three big ones ever, it's those three. So it's coming off of that. I am sure that it got, because I remember seeing it in the Christian bookstore, and I remember it not even being in the music section, but like up front on its own rack. So I do think it got pushed, and I bet you you're right, those junior high kids grabbed it and were like, South Park, I want this, Mom. And Mom put down her $18 and regretted it.
I would not be surprised. I think we talked about this on the Christmas episode. I wouldn't be surprised if he did this album and the Christmas album all at once.
Yeah.
Like just recorded all of it.
That makes sense.
It was done. And then he just was like, cool, I got 2 albums for this project. And then like never thought about it again. Someone called me out on Instagram, rightfully so. I thought that this band came back years later because I found on MySpace a Christian ska band called Short for Robert. And it was right after the rapper B.O.B. came out. And I was like, oh, this must have been that they had to like change their name. And someone messaged me and was like, no, that's not it at all. Like Short for Robert had to change their name to Short for Robert because Bunch of Believers came out. Like,
oh, wow.
I was like, oh, that really sucks.
That's really sucks.
Extra upsetting. I mean, if that happened to me, I would start to break it on down.
Nice work.
There he is. Well done, Matt.
What is this?
This is evidence that One Big Pig. What's his other band?
One Bad Pig.
One Bad Pig. This is just evidence that they were a fake punk band the whole time. That's all. That was this was just proved it to me. I was like, this is just so fake. I can't stand it.
So I tried to listen to like a song in real time from One Bad Pig while we were recording that episode. Because I was like, all right, well, was it a punk band where he sounded like he sounds on this? And like, no, it was like borderline like G.G. Allen noise nonsense. Like, have you ever sat down and listened to a One Bad Pig album, or were you kind of just like all out on everything this guy really touched?
I'm pretty all out. I did try, and I was just like, this isn't good. And I can't get over, and I know you can't know every artist, right? So the fact that I do know a little of his story, you know, but like I'm so out on just like this is so unauthentic. I can't move forward.
You know, I feel like authenticity, the great thing about authenticity is that you don't really need to research it to know when you hear that it's
right.
Not there. Like, it is like the one thing where you can quickly, you know, we shouldn't judge a book by its cover too much. You can usually tell 2 songs into any artist if they are being inauthentic.
Sincere,
you're like, this is not sincere. This is not genuinely who they are.
Well, and for a song called "Break It On Down," they barely break anything down.
They break nothing down. It's honestly almost anxiety-inducing pace for like no payoff. I'm like, why is this song written like this?
And it's also it's step chords. It's not like you know, like it's not. It's just like it's an annoying beat to begin with, and then like it just steps down, and this is what also made me think I was in Dante's Inferno.
You just went to the next circle down.
I did. I mean, the only thing that I said, please do something fun on this. And then I just put a bunch of you remember back in the early 2000s, the text emojis of faces of just going,
yes.
It was a bunch of these. So it's just like straight lines and frowns and then angry frowns and yeah.
Well, Katie's being very open about what she believes about this album. So let's hear what they believe. All right. If we're going to throw out some compliments, this is not a bad horn melody. I think this is the best horn melody in the entire album, actually.
Yeah.
Compliments are over. What do we think about what I believe?
It's just too bad that the horn melody isn't aligned with any original thought. This feels like a apologetics word find. That's what it just feels like. And I'm like, oh gosh, there's nothing original. Your music isn't original and his thoughts aren't original. And I'm sorry, her vocals on this are just so rough. So rough.
It's rough. I put, she's a maha mom, isn't she? Why do I feel like she says the wrong thing at the nail salon? They have almost the same chords as Doctor in the House, but they do something a little bit different. But yikes, lady, not vocals. Vocals are not for you.
Yeah.
And I think she got extra songs on the Christmas album. It was like, this is great. We're bringing it back.
I feel like this was she has way more songs on this one, which might make it feel like 10 songs is longer than 12. I might be wrong in that.
It's hard to say. I think she only sings on 3 songs on this, maybe 4. Christmas album, she's half the album.
Was she as bad on that? I mean, oh man, that was really
she's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, and granted, I also want to preface, I am not a good singer by any stretch of the imagination, and if I listen back to this and it was my vocals, I would be like, you know what, just find somebody else.
Just get someone else. The one thing that I always remember in that Christmas album, and it's the way that she delivers this one line sums up every time that she sings on that album, is the song So Many Santas. And she says something where she's like, Santa makes Christmas real fun, but Christ makes Christmas rock. And I was like, oh no. Oh no.
The performance was dead on, but oh my God, I want to throw up right now.
Yeah, it's literally had the energy of an American
corporate team building events.
I was gonna say an American having to do the voiceover for an anime, but not knowing anything. It was just all right, this rocks. But you know what? We're gonna end on the best song. It's a Ska 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 World. So nice they had to name the album after it. So it's good.
I am a huge fan of the title track being the closing track. I love that in every album I've ever listened to until this painful half hour. And now I hate that theory forever and ever.
So this one, let me go back to we haven't talked about any of the lyrics on this album for a good reason. But we gotta talk about the second verse of this song. Some people think you gotta be depressed to be cool, but I don't buy that. I'd rather dance like a fool. God works for me. Why don't you give it a twirl? He changed my heart and he can change the world. Africa, Russia, Australia, London, Peru, and America, Japan, Germany, Czechoslovak, all around the world, they want the ska rock.
Wow. That Reese, step down. Yeah. You cannot compare. Get out of here.
You've been dethroned. He knows a couple of countries.
Yeah. And then the chorus, just him telling us everything we need to know about ska. In the chorus, it's a Ska 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 world. I gotta dance when I hear that beat. It's a Ska 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 world with a joyful heart and some happy feet. It's a Ska 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 world. Put that guitar on the upbeat. It's a Ska 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 world where rock and punk and reggae meets.
Oh, thanks.
I don't even know why my buddy Taylor made that Pick It Up documentary, because all we needed to know about the history of ska was found right here. Song.
In the lyrics. In these profound lyrics.
And then, of course, he changes on the final chorus. This is what I was referring to close out the album. It's a ska, 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 ska world. Totally skanking with the supertones. It's a ska, 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 ska world. Five Iron Frenzy can't leave it alone. It's a ska, 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 ska world. Put on the Insiders. Now you're talking. Even in this song, he's like, put on something else. We're going to put on the Insiders. Thank God. It's
best piece of advice in these lyrics.
It's a ska, 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 ska world. Bunch of believers. Ska rocking.
I got legitimately mad. I was like, get them out of your damn mouth.
Yeah,
you are not allowed.
You were Will Smith going up to I almost said Kid Rock, Chris Rock. We would have been totally fine if Will Smith slapped the shit out of Kid Rock, honestly.
I think we would have been a better country for it.
Yeah,
I really do.
He would have been the top selling actor still. If that happened.
He wouldn't have been banned from the Oscars.
Yeah, I would have been buying a ticket for every one of his stupid sci-fi movies that he's cranked out lately. Yeah, this is just terrible. This album is the fact that there was a point where I really thought that this like stood amongst the other greats in my life is probably the first time I've truly been embarrassed by going back on some of this Christian content that I love so much. This is truly awful.
But put yourself in context.
I was 12. Yeah,
exactly. And like that's like I understand that had I been introduced to this back when I was 12, I would have been so into this. I would have been like, yeah, this is amazing. And I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna
just
wait
saying that I was 12 already and had already owned everything that Five Iron Frenzy, Supertones, and Insiders had put out. Like, I should have known this was bad by comparison. Like, my brain should have read
for it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
like I should have.
Part of only buying Christian music is you're so desperate for the next thing.
This is going to make no sense to Katie.
And to be relevant, right?
Yeah.
But like Caleb, I genuinely think at the time I was like, this is better than Buck. Like I was absolutely wrong.
Yeah, those are fighting words.
That first Buck album is unbelievably good now, like looking back at it. But I'm like, back then I was like,
I'm not going to fight a 12-year-old for their opinions. But
listen, you don't live with them. As someone who lives with a 10-year-old near an 11, you'll be surprised how much you fight about them with their opinions.
I mean, fair. That is fair.
And it's a losing fight because they don't care about, as they call me, Unk's opinion on.
They call you Unk?
Yeah, and not in a positive way.
No, I assumed.
The only time I thought Barb was going to smack the shit out of a child, though, was when they called us both boomers. And I think she's all red.
Good luck. Good luck with that mentality.
Yeah, she's like, whoa.
Her hands started cranking back.
Well, because he said like anybody whose birth year was 20 years ago is officially a boomer, and she's like, whoever told you that's an idiot. Like she doesn't say stupid, dumb, whatever.
Barb, you're a true winner. You're a true winner.
So we have grandparents around, so my kids do make fun.
No.
My kids absolutely do make fun of my parents. It's all in good fun because, but they absolutely are like, going on another cruise, are you? You got that boomer money. You're cruise people now, so
got that boomer money.
my kids get it, and it's all in good fun, but it is pretty hilarious to see them kind of pick on grandma and grandpa about it. Yeah. My parents don't want to be boomers, but they are.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. No, and it is kind of interesting to watch that generation grapple with sort of the vitriol that's been thrown.
Well, I think some of them have realized like, oh, what they're saying about us and how we've destroyed society. Oh, there's some truth behind this. And now I feel a little guilty, like, I think both my parents have wrestled with that.
Mine have as well, and I think they're being even more active because they are retired, but they're now and I didn't realize this until the other week because they had called and they were like, yeah, we're going to Washington, D.C. so that we can fight against like these like policies that are being put up in Arizona. And I was like, good for you guys. Like, way to like turn it on its head. And
what were the policies? Were the policies that gender fluid people could use whatever bathrooms they wanted? Because we need that clarification.
No, they're
people can go to Washington to fight all types of policies.
they were fighting against ICE in.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, they still have their lanes that they're qualified.
January 6th, people were there for policy.
That's true. That's true. Not that way. Not my parents.
Okay. Good.
The political
not all parents.
A bunch of believers has thrown me off quite a bit. I was not ready for this.
Yeah, no. Caleb, thank you so much for finally being on here. This was a blast. Tell people where they can check out your show, which I think is, and I don't mind saying this about my own show, a dramatically better podcast than ours. And just you go real deep into your album history, and I love it. Especially if it's an album that I love. I am still always floored by what new information I learn from your show. You are one of the best research music podcasts out there. So where can people go to check out your content?
Yeah, it's the Album Anniversary podcast. Caleb the Spy, because I'm not good at branding, is where you find me on a lot of the social media stuff. But if you search either one of those things, you can find the Bad Bible Joke, Caleb the Spy, or you can find the Album Anniversary podcast. And yeah, I'm not a musician, so like it's a lot about feel. Like there's a lot of vibe going on. It's like, why do you connect with the record? So that's what we're going for. We're not trying to, a lot of it's just fans, just people I've met online, and let's hang out with my internet friends and talk about it and that sort of stuff. And it's just, I don't know, we've been talking about music with friends for 30 years, and now it's not just friends who live by me or I went to high school with. It's all over the country. So I'm thankful for the little community we've built. So.
Yeah. All the guests that are on our podcast for the month of July are all from Caleb's little network of music loving Christian nerds.
Nice. I love it.
Well, I'm glad that you're at the genesis of this whole web of people.
Yeah. I'm just happy to be a part of it, honestly. I mean, when Brock, he was my first guest to actually join my podcast, Brock from Pickle Home Companion.
Yeah.
And it was like, I need to do more guests because that's really, really fun. It was kind of the genesis of it. I was like, oh, this is so much better than, because the show started as something totally different. And really, I started the podcast just to try and do the youth group podcast. I wanted to convince my friend I could do it. I was like, hey, I can do a podcast. You have a great idea. Let's do it. And that show has since run its course. But the music one keeps on chugging along. So I'm pretty thankful for it.
Well, and guests are how I found you. I don't know if I told you this. So I was on a missions trip, not to Mexico. And when I would go on the church missions trips at towards the back half of now, because I'm freelance, I was like, look, I can drive a van. I can bring the supplies that you need. I can't take a week off of work because I'm freelance, and that would destroy me. But if you need a body that can drive a van full of luggage and be there if you desperately need someone to run to the Home Depot and get supplies while we're there all week, I can do that. But I'm going to while you guys go to work sites, I'm just going to stay in the room and working unless I hear from you. And I distinctly remember, I think you had Reese or somebody from the Christian scene on an episode, and you had posted about it in the I Hate 5 Iron Frenzy group. And I was like, all right, I'm going to run and get lunch. I'll put this on. And I was going through your back catalog, and the album specifically that made me go, there's two albums. I was like, I've never heard anyone talk about these albums on the internet. I'm very excited. Was PFR Great Lengths and Blue Belly Sky from The Waiting, two albums that we have not done yet on the show. And I was just like, all right. And I think I mostly, every once in a while, I was like, how dare they not like this song that's my favorite song on the album? You can't help.
It is the risk.
Personal feelings. I think I even texted, I always am commenting on your Facebook posts. But even after the Suicide Machines episode a couple months ago, I'm like, how did no one talk about these two songs in this 2-hour long episode of this album? because there's 16 tracks on the album for starters, and Joe Yerke is a talker, baby.
Yeah, and those first 8 are perfect, and so it's like, all right, we got to make some cuts somewhere.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But yeah, so his show's great. Caleb is an incredible host. In case you haven't noticed, sound setup is like primo. What I think everyone dreams of their podcast host sounding like.
Yeah.
So I'm showering you with praise, but I truly do mean it. And Katie, I'm so sorry that we put you through this. Let's give you a reward next week. Let's take it easy with some 5-iron.
Yay! But Caleb, it was seriously such a joy chatting with you, and I'm glad that we got to see what your alternate personality would be if you weren't so nice.
I cursed while writing my notes. It doesn't happen a whole lot, but I did.
That's a huge deal.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.